Hi there, and welcome back to Darlene's Creative Studio. Today is day 31 of our Christmas December Daily Challenge prompts. It is the final prompt of our 31-day challenge, and the prompt is New Year, New Blank. So, I'm down to my last number here. I'm going to just trim up my New Year, New blank, 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 blank. And it's totally up to you how you want to interpret this prompt. But for me, again, the last few days, as you've seen, have been about planning for 2021 or just ending 2020 and moving on to 2021. So new year, new, for me, new year, new ideas. I think it's going to be new creative style, new finding new ideas, more or less, for me. So that is kind of how I'm going to be planning it. My poor journal can barely close. I've got one day left, and it's going to hopefully just fill the last. I mean, we've done a lot in this journal. And I'm almost thinking next year when I do something similar to this, I'm actually going to make the signatures and put an elastic through the center. So wherever the center of my signature is, right? Oops, it's hard to see in this book. There. So what I might do is create the signature, put an elastic around it, and then make the journal, and then actually make a cover afterwards for it, or plan the cover and then just decide on the width of the spine, just so I can close it properly. But so we're finally getting there. We're getting down to the nitty-gritty. I haven't gone through and journaled a lot of my I journal in a regular journal, so I'll just take some notes from those and add them to some of my. I did do some of this. I did do some of my writing on my little things last night while I was waiting for my husband to finish shoveling. So what I'm planning on doing for this particular prompt, I'm going to be putting this page down here, and I'm going to put New Year and my letter, and I'm going to distress the edges of this. Excuse my arm here. And this is just a thin piece of paper, but what I'm going to be doing, I think I've mentioned, is I'm going to be using the pages to do some research on planning for 2021, some new ideas. I'm going to go back through my old videos, and anything that I really enjoyed making or doing, I'm going to kind of make notes on that, and then just kind of do some planning for things that I want to do for 2021. Whether it's YouTube ideas, tutorial ideas, or just creating, just having some fun. I do know I'm going to be pulling out some of my watercolor paints and trying. I've signed up for a couple of courses, and while I was doing this, I just found it too chaotic. So I promised myself in January I would spend some time doing some watercolor. So that's going to be part of my scheduling, is to do some watercolor. So what I'm going to do is, let me just put this down, and I'll show you the thing that I'm going to be using. I'm just going to put my glue like this so that it'll start running down. Stay. Okay. I found this in my stash. This is an old vintage Happy New Year card, and it had a little saying here, and I've just put a piece of paper over top of that, but it had a nice little saying there. But this is one of those old ones that opens up into like a letter size thing. What I think I'm going to do is put this piece of paper down, glue this piece of paper down, and then I'm going to be gluing this onto here. So I'm going to have my New Year, New here, and I'm going to put my number on here. So I want to start doing that. I'm going to glue the background down, put the label on, and then I'm going to explain what I'm doing with this card. So let me just get this guy put down. And this was the cover of one of those Stamperia scrapbooking things. This green was just the back of the back page. So I like to use up every single little piece I can. Okay, so let's get this page on here first. There. Okay, let's put our glue back on. Oops, it's oozing like crazy. Here we go. Put it on. Okay, so we're going to leave that laying down. So there's my page. Now before I glue this down, I'm just going to kind of get it placed where I want it. So I'm going to put New Year, New You up there. It's New Year, New Ideas. So we're going to put that up at the top. Right here. And again, if you rub it, it takes away that fogginess to the background. Right? And then this is going to go in here, and I'm going to put my 31 right here. And I am going to just stress the edges just a little bit of this card. Not a lot, just a tiny, tiny bit. Okay, so before I glue this down, when you open up this letter, this card, it actually opens up to a 7.5 by 11. So here's what I'm thinking of doing, and I hope it works. I'm going to either print right on this card or print on a piece of paper and attach it to the card. I'm not quite sure. What I might do is fold a piece of paper and put it through my printer and see if this line affects it in any way. But I want to print something on here and then be able to fill it in, like whether maybe it's a calendar or some kind of a list making thing of some ideas, you know, maybe some kind of a spreadsheet or something that I could put some new ideas and then fill in the dates and stuff like that. But I want to use that for something so that when I open it up, it's already got something on there. And then I'm going to put something on here as well, so that when I open this up and it's glued down, I can have this place filled out, space filled out, not place. And then when I open it right up, it'll be glued on this side, but this will all be filled out. So that's what I'm going to be doing with this one, so that I can use up every single little piece of this card. And then, like I say, when I flip it over, these will be my planning pages. Maybe this could be where I put my ideas and checking them off, or tutorials and when I do them, dates I finish them and check them off, and when I upload them. Some brainstorming. I might do a little design on here, draw a little cloud or something, and do some brainstorming of ideas on this page, and then just kind of keep going. So another list I can do there. Maybe do some of my supplies that I have. I have quite a few fabric samples, and I want to try another fabric journal. So maybe stuff like that, where I can write down some of my supplies so I can get ideas from what I have in stock. A lot of like scrapbooking paper, fabric, fusing Rolodex cards. I want to do something with my Rolodex cards. I have a really neat Rolodex thing. So those kind of things where I can think of, if I write down things that I have, that I could maybe make projects from. So that's another kind of brainstorming idea. But this is just what I want to use these pages for, so that I'm kind of prepped for the new year. So I'm going to pause the film here, and when I come back, I will show you what I printed on this card, and then we will glue it down and finish off day 31 of a new year, new, and to me is going to be ideas. All right, we'll see you soon. All right, we are back, and I did manage to finish my card. I did print out the word ideas on the sticker label and put this in for my page. So new year, new ideas. And then I did take this card. It is a Hallmark card, and it is made in Canada, but it was a fairly old one because it was quite dingy, yellowy color. So I did get a chance to put it through my printer. I just changed the page size to 7.5 by 11 instead of 8.5 by 11. And then what I did was on the inside, so it's going to be glued down, on the inside I created these little lines and dots. So these are some ideas that I want to jot down. And then if I have a larger idea that I really want to work on, I created the inside page. And when you open it up, so I'm going to write the idea in here, and then these are going to be shoot-offs from that idea of what I could do. So if I want to try some fabric journals, then I could mark off inside the boxes what kind of fabric I wanted to use, what the bases could be made of, the sizes. So you do some project planning, and I just went on my computer and I went into bullet journaling and found box frames, and there was all kinds of different stickers and layouts. So I just kind of cut this one out and pasted it onto my page, and then I found a clip art of a light bulb. So that's all I did, was I created that page on a 7.5 by 11, and then I actually put this through the printer. I tested it on a plain page, ivory colored paper that I had. In case it didn't work, I was just going to glue it to the page. And I folded it just like this card was folded, so that it had the fold marks in it. I wanted to make sure it went through my printer without catching on the fold marks, and it did not. So I put this through, and it printed out really well. So this is now going to get glued into my journal, and I'll be able to use that for some ideas of what I want to do in 2021, some creative ideas. And then when I have time, I will just sit down. It may be this afternoon because it's snowing and not very nice out there at all. And maybe spend some time just kind of planning some ideas. And I do like to go online and look at some other ideas. I don't try not to do the same as everyone else. You like to try and come up with your own style and your own ideas. And that's the hardest part for me, because there's so many people that make journals, junk journals and regular journals and vintage journals and all that, you know, there's a lot of overlap out there. So, and I don't want to feel like I'm copying someone else. So that's the hardest part for me, is just coming up with my own signature style and something that I enjoy making. I don't want to just start making journals that I don't enjoy making, because then it's not enjoyable anymore, is it? All right, so we're going to glue this page down, and I've used the Fabri-Tac because this is cardstock and I really want this to stick onto the page, and if I'm going to be opening and closing it a couple of times. So there we go. We've got that down. We've gone ahead and printed our lists on this page, and then our ideas on that page. And that's as simple as it's going to get for December 31st. I think I have filled this journal with absolutely everything I could possibly fill it with, and this elastic is getting really tight, and my journal is just bulging at the seams. So again, for next year, I might try and make it so that the signatures I do ahead of time, and then I create a different spine, a wider spine, or the book afterwards. And that just might help if I'm going to do this type of journal again, where it's where I'm adding a lot of bits and pieces and journaling cards to my book, because it is going to get very, very full, and it's just going to be overflowing. It's my little grandkitties. So thank you so much for following along. It was a lot of fun doing something creative every single day. It was time consuming doing the videos and uploading them, but again, it's something that I enjoy doing. And I will probably try it again next year. I might not record every single day. We'll see. We'll see what we're doing next December. I might be in Florida. I might be here. We just don't know what we're going to be doing for next year. So that's my December daily Christmas journal. I hope everyone's had a little bit of time to record their memories of this year, good and bad. I know it's been a tough year for everyone, but let's plan for a better 2021, and we will get things going and make it a better year. Happy New Year, everyone, and we'll see you next year. Bye for now.